Hello and welcome to the first ever NIKKE video, and we're gonna discuss about team counters which compose of Rapi, Anis, and Neon. Please do take note that Anis and Neon are quite bugged right now, so the actual implementation of their stats or skills might not be as effective all the time because of these bugs kicking in. But nevertheless, we're gonna discuss the team's strengths and how do they perform during battles. So without further ado, let's start. Okay, for Rapi, one of her specialties is being a taunter. Then upon normal attack deals 13.65 damage, which is fine. Uh, she uses assault rifle, 60 ammo, and 1 second reload, which is a decent. Then we move on to the skills. Formation. Skill 1 activates when dish out 20 bullets, so it only affects health. Then the buffs is really good. An attack buff of around 21% for 20 seconds. Then skill 2 affects one enemy with the highest attack. Deals 528% of attack as damage. And the taunt, here we go. The taunt applies here for 5 seconds, so she may she not be defender, but at least she could take the carry or tank the damage for the team for 5 seconds. And her burst is the forehead volley, affects one enemy with the highest attack, deals 650 damage, attack as damage, and an additional buff for herself for 10 seconds, which she could add additional attack of 60 seconds. So looking at the Rapi's skill set, you could really see that even though she is an SR, but looking at her buffs, it's always all of these are attack buffs, and she could be really a decent attacker for your team if you think that you are missing an attacker, or you in the versatile attacker. Rapi could be your first option. I mean, being the main character or the main character NIKKE in the game and in the story. So normally they're not really top tier, but yeah, they somehow they still get the fair share of good buffs being the protagonist. So I think you should invest on Rapi if you don't have a decent attacker, especially if you're free to play, or if you didn't get Scarlet, or you don't have any maybe decent attackers which has an assault rifle attacker. Rapi could be your best option. Don't waste on Rapi. I mean, try to develop Rapi as much. Okay, so we move on to Anis. So Anis uses a rocket launcher with 6 clips and a measly rate of 2 second reload time, which is very long. Well, that's the nature of rocket launcher, and aside from that, is your buffer and debuffer. Okay, and what else? Okay, rocket launcher doesn't really prorate its damage depending on the distance, unlike other weapons. That's a plus already. Then what else? Full charge damage is 250%, charge time 1 second, then you get the drill. Then skills. So these skills are defense buffs. The first one only applies to herself, which is sad. It activates when attacked 40 times. Well, could be better, like maybe it could apply to the whole party. Then skill 2, try to apply the defense 80% for 5 seconds within the allies with the highest attack. So she could tank the damage at least for 10 seconds. And yeah, I mean 10 seconds is really a big difference in some of the challenge in the quest, or in the quest. So yeah, I think this a decent skill. Well, not really top tier skill, but decent, like a classic defender skill. Then burst skill, this is an attack burst. So if you're following with the other defenders in this game, they usually have a buff burst, or maybe a buff burst instead of an offensive burst. So, or maybe let's call it defensive burst. So for Anis is quite an attack burst, and deals a 150% attack damage, and a debuff of 32% decrease in the enemy's defense for 5 seconds, which is decent. Okay. The only thing that holds back for this is being an SR. Well, you could go two options with her. Either you keep her or you don't. Because if you in the higher levels, if you don't have a decent limit break defender, like maybe 1 star, 2 star, then probably you will go with Anis, because at the higher levels, you need a solid defender. So if you don't have any limit break defenders, Anis could fill in that spot easily. Or else you want her to be your what you call this, synchro device stock NIKKE. She could be there. She could be in the synchro device, and you could use her as a catalyst for other NIKKEs to develop. But again, same with Rapi. If you don't have if you don't have a decent defender, you could get Anis. You could use Anis to replace that spot, to be your defender in your team. And having a max limit break SR character is already decent as compared to a zero limit break or 0 star limit break SSR. So depending on your scenario, if nothing could really, if you don't have any decent SSRs, then probably you should invest with Anis. And I have known some people who've been using Anis since day one, and she proved to be okay, especially on higher levels. Well, that goes, I think, with the bond map, not really max up, but the bond at level 7 or 10, and maybe equip with the good armor set. Then probably Anis is your Anis could be your what you call this, main defender for your team. And lastly, we have Neon. So Neon holds a shotgun, short range, 9 ammo clip or 9 shells with the reload time 1.8. It deals 200 damage being shotgun, but again, consider the effective range. So this 200 damage really stacks up pretty good if the enemy is at the front. But if it is in the mid lane or in the back lane, then probably this will not be good. Okay, so skills. First skill is affects to allies with the highest attack, so cast when killing an enemy. So the target, they will crit rate up for 3.56% for 5 seconds, which is okay in my own opinion. But again, we prefer attack rate over crit rate, because attack rate, the pro rate of the attack rate is quite high as compared with the crit rate. So that's what's happening right now. That's why Scarlet is overpowered, because she's full of attack buffs. Increase attack rate and left and right. Then skill 2 Viva Power. Attack activates at the beginning of full burst. Affects all allies. So critical rate 45% of increase in crit rate, but only for 2 shots, which is bad. I think these 2 shots might be okay for either rocket launchers, sniper rifles, and shotguns, because each bullet counts for those kinds of weapons. But for the assault rifle, submachine gun, and the minigun, it takes a while before the damage to kick in, and these 2 shots is not really, it will not count for those NIKKEs with that kind of weapons. I guess if you have a charge team, or maybe not really charge team and shotgun team, then probably skill 2 will be beneficial. Then the burst is firepower rules. So affects one enemy with the highest defense. So yeah, they will nerf the defense and try to kick in more damage, amounting to 530% more. Then affects all allies with the shotgun. So I mean, additional 3 shotgun shells. That's why she's good if you're building shotgun teams, because she could draw out the best, or she could draw out that potential damage for additional damage for the shotgun teams, because that 3 bullets or that 3 shells, additional 3 shells, especially during full burst time, they are really crucial. And shotgun really packs a lot of punch. For each shell, considering where the effective range is, you know, within the effective range. So Neon is really tricky. I mean, the use of her is like, well, it's already implied that you should have a shotgun team at least. I mean, maybe two Nikkes with shotgun, including her. So that's your setup. But if you're having a setup where your main support will be Neon and you have you have a non-shotgun user, so probably Neon might not work. I think the only skill that might affect you will be skill one and maybe the first buff in the burst. But you know, I mean, if you could take full advantage of her skill, then better bring a shotgun user to your team. So again, for the team counters, they're really good, versatile, should I say. I think the right word is versatile. They're not really strong as compared to pilgrims or to those higher tiered Nikis. But the way that they are important to the game is that you can explore you could try to switch them or try to mix them up in order for you to clear some stages. The thing with them is being the main character, the protagonist team in this game. It's like the game is implying you to use them more. I do get it if you will use them as your synchro device feeders, which is normal, but it's still possible that to use them even in higher levels, especially in this tight situations where there are walls and you cannot find a decent team to put in. Then probably you could use Rapi number one. You could really use her, but for Anis and Neon, it might be tricky to use them. But still, they could still provide some decent defender and support benefits to your team. The only trick with Neon is that you need a shotgun team for her. But for Anis, if you don't have a decent defender, then Anis could fill that spot for you. So that's about it for this video. So I hope you did like this video. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more NIKKE videos. So that's it for now. Have a good one. Stay safe and cheers. Till the next video. Goodbye.